Hello and welcome to this week's edition of Sensational South. I'm Harish Upadhyaya. Over the next 30 minutes, we bring you all the big news and newsmakers from South India. Our top story today comes from Hyderabad, where the Prophet insult row has reignited once again, courtesy MLA Raja Singh. There were protests that stretched over 72 hours and a good year before the election. Is this the beginning of the polarization in Telangana? Is the question. Swastika Das brings us this report.
72 hours of protests that kept Hyderabad on its toes. The backlash against suspended BJP MLA Raja Singh for his derogatory comments on Prophet Mohammad has already set the tone for what the elections in Telangana are going to look like. Raja was rearrested on Thursday and jailed under the Draconian Preventive Detention Act, within 48 hours of being let out on bail. This while AIMIM MP Asaduddin Owaisi pushed for the release of nearly 100 protesters, some of whom raised slogans like Sartan Se Juda.
हम बार-बार ये आपसे कह रहे हैं कि आवाम से अपील भी कर रहे हैं कि आप तशद्दुद और वायलेंस को उकसाने की बात मत करिए.
But no action on his own party leaders Nazreen Sultana and Zafar Khan, who raised the very same slogan. Hyderabad influencer Syed Kashaf was the only person detained, but was soon let off the hook by a local court as the police failed to furnish a notice mandated under Section 41A of the CRPC. Call it a political strategy or taking a moral high ground, BJP steered clear of the Raja Singh controversy. Party leaders say actions speak louder than words. But the overall situation seems to have indirectly benefited their poll pitch, that the ruling TRS is working as AIMIM's stooge. A similar pitch in the 2020 GHMC elections fetched them 48 seats, a close second to the TRS.
మొన్ననేమో మునవర్ ఫారూక్ అని ఒక కమిడియన్ పట్టుకొచ్చి అన్ని రాష్ట్రాలు నిషేధిస్తే వాని ప్రోగ్రాం పెట్టించారు పోలీస్ బందోబస్తు మధ్యలో ప్రజల దృష్టి మళ్ళించిండు ఏం జరుగుతుందో తెలుసు మనకు.
The person whose kingdom is at stake, Telangana Chief Minister K. Chandrasekhar Rao, has hit the ground running, mounting sharp attacks at the Modi government for fomenting unrest in Hyderabad for political gains.
దయచేసి ఆలోచన చేయండి. 8 ఏళ్ల నుంచి మన దగ్గర కఠినంగా వ్యవహారం చేసి సీమ సిట్టుకు మంటలేదు ప్రశాంతంగా ఉన్న తెలంగాణ సమాజం హైదరాబాద్ నగరం మన మొత్తం రాష్ట్రమంతా కూడా అద్భుతమైనటువంటి బ్రహ్మాండమైనటువంటి ప్రశాంత వాతావరణంలో అభివృద్ధి జరుగుతూ ఉంది.
The battle for Telangana is heating up with every passing day. All the parties have hit the ground running. For TRS, it is all about retaining its bastion. For the BJP, it is about making inroads into a state where they want to expand their prominence, their second gateway to South after Karnataka. Will the MIM be able to retain its bastion? And what about the Congress? With the top leadership in split, how does the Congress's future in Telangana is likely to look like? With all of these power dynamics at play, it only remains to be seen that the battle for Telangana is going to be one epic one. With video journalist Venkatesh in Hyderabad, Swastika Das for CNN News 18.
Has the tone been set for the assembly elections in Telangana? We'll discuss that. Our eminent panel joins us today. We have Sai Shekhar Rao, a political expert. We have Krishna Sagar Rao, BJP spokesperson, and Mr. Krishank Mani, who's the TRS leader, joining us. I'll come to you, Mr. Sai Shekhar. Do you believe that this has set the tone for the assembly elections next year? And what is likely to be the ramification of this?
You can't see this as setting of the stage for next assembly elections. That has been done quite long ago. Ever since the BJP won Hyderabad elections, BJP has amplified the political activity in Telangana, and Telangana state government led by Mr. Chandrasekhar Rao has also become wary of the BJP's overtures and efforts to make inroads into the Telangana state, and then the government has responded very effectively, and then it has become a war between both the parties. It's a tough war, and the BJP has chosen Hyderabad for its national executive towards the first and second of July, and ever since, and the
Yes.
Telangana Rashtra Samiti, like Telangana Rashtra Samiti, which has opposed the BJP's presidential candidate and seconded the opposition candidate, has put up a wonderful, very huge gala show welcoming Mr. Yashwant Sinha, who himself was surprised that he could actually, get such a rousing welcome in Hyderabad, and the chief minister used that platform
Yes.
to launch a trenchant attack against the BJP. And then ever since he has been constantly upping the ante against the BJP, and BJP is also not taking this line down, and the atmosphere has really become very hot.
Okay.
And this Atta Singh's comments have actually.
So you believe this is perhaps taking it to the next level? One question,
Yeah.
as protest in a way eases out in Hyderabad, one question that is now cropping up, and I would like to take this to Mr. Krishank Mane. Mr. Mane, whether it's Bangalore or Delhi, Munawar Farooqi shows were cancelled. Why did the TRS government take this risk of ensuring that his show happens? And in a way, didn't they anticipate this kind of a reaction, considering how volatile Hyderabad is?
Well, see, one thing we should understand that we did not expect the double standards from Bharatiya Janata Party, because if we are talking about this particular comedy show, before Hyderabad, there was a show at Chennai, and there were no issues at Chennai. There was a Congress and DMK alliance government there. And a couple of months back, there is this actress called Kangana Ranaut, who seems to be very politically inclined by the Bharatiya Janata Party, and is also, I believe, has been given a Y category security by the government of India. Well, she had Munawar Farooq on her
But
and probably was a
Mr. Mane, the situation in Chennai and Hyderabad are totally different. Didn't you anticipate this law and order issue?
Well, see, our duty is to protect the law and order. When RSS can come to Hyderabad and Telangana and can do a rally with stakes, when they are allowed to do a procession, same time this particular comedian show also can happen. When Kangana Ranaut, who is close to BJP, can have him on the show, why not here is the question. The Bharatiya Janata Party, today you see the double standards. The National Party has suspended Raja Singh. But the state BJP unit coming up with a comedian show as a defense itself shows that they wanted to defend Raja Singh. Because in the show, what we want to ask is, legally, has the comedian in this show spoken anything unlawful? If so, please go to the court. They can always go to the court and stop it. But instead, what did the BJP MLA do? He threw up.
I'll take it to Mr. Krishna Sagar Rao. Mr. Rao, the TRS says this is double standard. You have the BJP High Command taking one line. The local unit says something totally different.
See, unfortunately, TRS has no standards, whether singular or double. See, they have actually mixed up governance with politics so badly that today when Krishank talks about the comedian, is that the business of a government to facilitate a comedy show by using thousands of police force? So what are they trying to do? Now, this episode is a passé, this is gone. But one thing which leaves is a bitter taste of prioritizing instigative kind of a governance, where the government of Telangana has sponsored a comedy show, knowing very well that that individual was not welcome in Hyderabad, and he has abused the majority people of this nation's gods. And so what's wrong in Bharatiya Janata Party questioning that? We have already taken a decision in very big responsible decision by the party on the man who has made comments which were not in line with the party. But the question is, why did the
But Mr. Rao, just a quick question on that. Many are pointing out that this man has 101 cases, 18 of them are communal clashes charges. Why didn't the party act much before this? Did the party leave it too little, too late?
See, Harish, you have to understand that he's an elected representative. There is a difference between a party office bearer to a representative. We are a national party. We don't handle every individual leader with a guidance on how to speak and where to speak, especially the people's representatives. So you have to understand that. So he has been given a long rope and he has misused it. As an adult, he'll face the consequences.
Yeah, Harish, can I come in?
Yeah. In fact, I'll take this to Mr. Sai Shekhar. Mr. Sai Shekhar, the BJP might have acted against Raja Singh, but do you believe that they will gain politically now?
Whether they will gain political key. They want to foment the religious and other sentiments that polarize the voters into two different groups, and then they want to curry favor from this situation. But I would like to also make one submission in reference to Mr. Krishna Sagar's point. See, like George Orwell said, all animals are equal, some animals are more equal than the others. The BJP's reaction to suspension of Raja Singh has come in the wake of the backlash internationally the party had to face and the government of India had to face after Nupur Sharma's observation. So that is the reason why they have acted on the Raja Singh, and the BJP will surely utilize this opportunity to polarize the vote bank in Telangana because they want to make inroads into Telangana.
Yeah.
So,
well, it's not just the BJP. The allegation is that even the TRS and MIM, in fact, are trying to gain momentum from this, gain politically as well. Mr. Kishan Mane, the other allegation is that the TRS government has gone soft on MIM activists or the members who've called out Sartan Se Juda or others who are now saying that these protesters should be released. Has the government gone soft on these elements?
No, absolutely not, Harish. I'd like to tell you, in fact, we were all through this while, this 3-4 days, we've been debating on the CNN also. 150 people were detained, irrespective of their religions or their communities. If they were found on the streets, mobs gathering, 150 people were detained. Two people who have given those slogans have been charged with various sections, and the investigation continues, and they have been produced at the court also. 2 people, not just one. And many people also will follow the suit, because what we have achieved is whatever the intentions were, Friday was peaceful, and coming days we have the Vinayaka Chauthi, which, Ganga Jamuni Tehzeeb, both Hindu and Muslims celebrated in Hyderabad. So we had to take care of the law and order, because what happened is with Raja Singh's video, these total sentiments have changed. Bharatiya Janata Party, you see this twist here in BJP. The person who has fought their case, this Raja Singh's case here, was the legal cell convener of the state. The person who is fighting there in the Supreme Court is also a BJP legislator. The same thing what happened in the Nupur Sharma issue also. Entire rank and file of BJP trolled the Supreme Court too. Here they are doing the same. The issue is last 2 years, there are statements in many news channels and newspapers that Raja Singh was upset with the Bharatiya Janata Party state president, Bandi Sanjay, and he was being sidelined. He has openly said it with the leadership in media. And that is why he has chosen this issue to get limelight in his constituency and also significance in his party.
Mr. Mane, can we now expect the TRS government to ensure that it continues to pressurize Raja Singh, keeping behind bars, or assure people that he won't be let out just before elections, because there could be some polarization that will help your party as well if he comes out?
See, not just Raja Singh, whosoever who wants to break the peace and harmony of Telangana, because 8 years we have not seen any communal rights. And today we see many statements. Why only Raja Singh? You see the statement, I am quoting you, Indian Express, BJP State President Bandi Sanjay says we'll resort to Gundaism. So if you want to do the Gujarat model, do the Bengal model, do the Karnataka's disturbance, same here in Telangana. No, sir, definitely law and order is priority for KCR's government, and we will have to take them to task, whosoever they are.
Okay, Mr. Krishna Sagar Rao, the TRS says that they're acting against culprits irrespective of which party they belong to, but do you believe that they're going soft, especially on the members of MIM?
No, it's a classic case of hypocrisy. when he says what he says, because the corporators who are chanting those slogans, the barbaric slogans, were not even touched. So where did the law and order take its own course? So there is a duplicity in how TRS government is functioning, and it has been very evident right from the beginning, as Krishank has stated, from 8 years. If there was no violence, then Bharatiya Janata Party wasn't doing anything either. So now to blame Bharatiya Janata Party because of one individual statements and then appease, do extreme appeasement to one community, which has been continuing since 8 years, and call it good governance or good politics, that has to be put to test by the voters when the election happens next. So, and to Sai Shekhar, it is not being selective in terms of, to Sai Shekhar, my friend, who said that just because of what happened earlier with Nupur Sharma's comment, that we have acted upon this man, Raja Singh ji. That is not the case. The case is that when you deviate from the party line, depending upon the gravity of the deviation, office bearers will have a different bar and the elected representatives will have a different bar. If you actually understand the national party and its framework of how it operates, you will understand. So when the deviation from the
But do you
party's
believe,
line
Mr.
and
Rao,
party's...
that some of these people who are habitual offenders, this is not just in Hyderabad, could be in Bangalore, various parts of Karnataka or other states as well, need to be warned by the party, especially looking at what's happened with Nupur Sharma or Raja Singh? This could be an internal party mechanism, but do you think that's something that should happen now?
See, as I said, a national party of our size will have thousands, if not lakhs, of people working in different positions and also in people representative areas. It is up to the individuals to follow a guideline which is set by the party. Otherwise, they'll certainly face consequences both from the party and law and order. But I'm questioning the TRS party as to what it
they will
has
face
done.
consequences, you say?
No, I am asking TRS party and the TRS government what action they have taken on AIMIM corporators and Asaduddin Owaisi, who directly involved in interfering with law and order.
Okay, I'll take it to Krishank Mane. We are running out of time. I'll take final comments from Mr. Krishank Mane and Sai Shekhar. Mr. Mane, the BJP believes enough hasn't been done against the corporators of the MIM there. What does the TRS now want to do going further, whether it's investigation of Mr. Raja Singh or other protesters?
See, Kashaf was also a leader with the MIM. So definitely MIM person has been arrested too. Same with Rashid Khan, also belongs to a political party. Whosoever they are, we are arresting them. I mean, I don't understand. Bharatiya Janata Party doesn't have the, ethical say to actually ask us, because they don't have a discipline in their own party. What bar was for Pragya Thakur ji, for Pragya ji, Sadhvi Pragya ji, who praised the killers of Mahatma Gandhi ji. They did praise, but no punishment.
Okay, all right, we are completely out of time. Thanks a lot for joining us, Mr. Sai Shekhar, Mr. Krishna Sagar Rao, and Mr. Krishank Mane. Well, we'll have to see how this pans out, especially in the next few months, as there's a by-poll that's also slated and the assembly elections that happen next year. Well, time for a quick break now. On the other side, we'll get you all the major stories from South India.